All right, and we are live. So, I'm just gonna talk about a bunch of random topics tonight while I work on some questions for the Keach's Catechism. One of the topics is the idea of comics, and comics being funny. I don't know. A lot of people will associate comics with like the funnies in the Sunday paper. I know that's probably an outdated analogy, but comics do not have to be funny. Comics are simply a way of conveying information or getting a story across to the viewer or an idea. And so sometimes with RefToons, people will associate the comics with having to be funny and wonder why I'm making fun of certain things just because I'm drawing things as cartoons. But just because something is drawn as a cartoon does not mean it is meant to be funny. Or necessarily for kids. So there you can see that in various shows that are on TV where they are certainly not for kids at all, but they're animated with cartoon characters. And we know that those are not meant for kids. But then you have things like this catechism that are certainly drawn in a cartoon style, and it is meant for kids. So comics and cartoons are not simply, it's not just something that has to be funny. It's something that conveys a message. Or as Scott McCloud, he says in his book, Understanding Comics, he kind of gives like this funny little definition. Juxtaposed pictorial and other images in deliberate sequence intended to convey information and or to produce an aesthetic response in the viewer. And then he says he admits this is not something that comes up in casual conversation. But comics are simply a medium to get something from one place to another. In this instance, it's to get information from history in the form of RefToons. It's to get information from history into the mind of the viewer. And so occasionally I'll get comments on the RefToons Facebook page asking me why I'm making fun of so-and-so or making fun of a certain situation. So today I posted the comic that was about 3 martyrs burning at the stake, and there was a whole conversation about why am I making fun of Christians being burned at the stake when that was not my intent. And I think you can, just by a general reading of that comic, you would see that the purpose of that comic was not to make fun of Christians who are burning at the stake. But the point was to show that even though they are burning at the stake, even though their death is certain, like it's right there, they're going to choose to praise God in spite of that, and no effort of man to silence the gospel is going to prevail. I mean, even as they're burning at the stake, they're singing hymns and praising God. And I guess the funny part, the little bit of humor that I added to that comic was that of the modern, and I'm sure it's not just relevant to modern audiences. I'm sure something like this has happened in the past, where people are, whether it's a certain way of singing a song or a certain rendition of a song that is preferred by one person over another, and they're wondering, well, which one are we going to sing? Which version are we going to sing? Or how are we going to sing this? What tune are we going to sing this to? So that was the comedic element of that comic, and it had nothing to do whatsoever with making fun of Christians or making light of the situation. I don't think that you should make light of anyone dying, but in the very words of Fox's Book of Martyrs, these people who were going to their deaths at the stakes were joyful. Some of them seemed to be chuckling at their situation, or even somewhat making light of it by saying they're so excited to have to be a part of the wedding supper that night because they would be with Christ. And so making a comic about something historical is not making fun of something. Just because something is a comic does not mean it's making fun of whatever it's talking about. Whoops, I don't want the clone brush. So I guess that's all I really had to say on that topic of comics as comedy. Some comics are made for the sake of comedy. RefToons is made for the sake of comedy and for some seriousness. But it's not comedy all the time, and it's not seriousness all the time. I have my silly moments. Spurgeon having pancakes or other things. But just because you associate the medium with cartoons or funnies does not mean you don't look at the context of each comic, because the context is going to tell you, is going to help you understand the tone that is trying to be put across. If that makes sense. In other news, I was able to find a print-on-demand company, which means a print-on-demand company for the coloring books and for the calendars, the RefToons calendars and coloring books. So the print-on-demand aspect means that I don't have to buy a bulk order and then try to sell it. It means that when you order either a calendar or a coloring book, they begin printing it when you order it. So it's like they don't have them printed, they print it when you order it. So that saves me from having to purchase in bulk and then have a lot of extra left over and have to handle shipping. So they handle all the printing and shipping for me, which is nice. And those are available now on in the RefToons store, which I believe I have a link in the description of the video. The one thing with that, though, is that when you are ordering, it gets to the shipping part. What was I going to say? The shipping part.
But if you choose like 2-day shipping.
Oh, right. Yeah. If you choose 2-day shipping or 1-day shipping, it's not going to get to you the next day because they still have to print it. So, and their production time depends on the time of the year, what all the other things that they have to do and all that. So it may be a day or two before they even print it. I do know that it's an hour. The payments are not processed until an hour after the order is placed, and so they don't start production until those are processed. All the things you don't expect when you start to sell things. Pilgrim's Progress is out in hardcover now. If you check it on Amazon, I have the link in the description as well. And things are going pretty good at RefToons home base. Just trying to get this catechism finished so I can hopefully get it published soon and have another resource for you. Okay. So that one's done. Next, we'll move on to question 40. Now I'm going to do some line art. So when I'm doing the line art, start with a sketch, just a rough, kind of a rough sketch. Then I'll grab my brush. This brush that I use, it mimics the look and feel of an actual brush pen, the ones that I like to use when I'm using just pen and paper. And this actually imitates that look and feel, and I like using this. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. This is the brush that I use for doing all of the all of the RefToons that I do digitally. Okay. So now this one, what benefits do believers receive from Christ at their death? The souls of believers are at their death made perfect in holiness and do immediately pass into glory, and their bodies, being still united to Christ, do rest in their graves till the resurrection. So I have a grave here with a tombstone that reads, "Resting in the arms of Christ." And then on the flip side, question 42. But what shall be done to the wicked at their death? I have kind of a similar image with a tombstone, some flowers, but the flowers are dead and dried up. And the tombstone says, "Awaiting judgment." So kind of a weird mirror image. Hmm. And actually, speaking of actual brush pens, I'm actually working on a new RefToon that's with pen and ink on actual paper. So it's not a digital one. I'll probably color it digitally because it's going to be a lot of stuff. But it's I think it's the first RefToon that's going to be multi-page. So it's not just going to be a single panel image. It's a story. And it's a story that Spurgeon tells in his book All of Grace. That book is his that book is all about it's made specifically for unbelievers, calling them to faith and repentance. One of the little stories in there is about a guy or a painter who was hired to paint a section of his city, and he wanted to add some of the people that were well known to everybody in the city, and one of those people was like a street sweeper type of guy. He was all dirty and grungy, but everybody knew who he was, because he was outside sweeping the crosswalks and everything every day. And so the painter went up to him, told him he would pay him so much money or something like that. He wanted him to come and sit for him so that he could paint him into the picture. And so the day came when the painter was going to paint this shabby looking street sweeper. And the street sweeper came in all dressed up with shiny new clothes, shiny new boots, and immediately he was turned away because the painter did not want him because of he didn't want him to change. He didn't hire him to be beautiful or to have nice clothes. He hired him as he was, a street sweeper. And that's kind of he kind of parallels that with, you don't have to, there's nothing you can do to beautify yourself to be accepted by Christ. He wants you, or he tells you to come as you are in faith and repentance, and no amount of works can no amount of your works will help you to come to Christ. And so that's the new RefToon that I'm working on outside of the computer. and it's going to be a few pages because I can't fit the whole thing on just one page. So since I started, it's been, the RefToons have been just single panel comic strips. Have more room to work with.
Which way is it?
Multi-page.
How do you post that though? Is it postable on there?
I just have to post it as 3 images. You can post 3 images on Facebook. I might have something in the bottom corner of each image saying
Oh, like
one of 3,
right, okay.
and then with an arrow pointing that way so that they can scroll to the right. Hey, Brian. Oh, did I change that color? Is that a different color? Can't tell, I'm colorblind. Is that a different color than that?
Oh, it doesn't look like a different color. It might look a little more fuzzy. I don't know. No, it's not a different color.
Couldn't tell if I changed the color right there.
No, there's purple behind there. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did one color and one of the blacks were on. It was like more gray.
Yeah, because it was CMYK.
Oh.
So I have 41 of these completed out of 114. So my goal for this year is to get these finished and published by summer, maybe. What?
Because I'm writing this down, Paul.
Okay, yeah, write it down.
What's your date?
Hold me to it.
July 4th?
Do I do any other work besides RefToons? Yes, I do. And I was actually just going to mention that. So when I don't have work, then I'm working on the catechisms, trying to get those done, and other RefToons and stuff.
We've seen much more.
So I haven't had work past few weeks, so I've been trying to get these pumped out as fast as I can. I do freelance illustration when I'm not doing RefToons. So I work, I say full-time as a freelance illustrator, working for various types of clients, and some of them are individual people, some of them are large companies, and whenever they need a cartoon character or a marketing comic strip, then they contact me. And I do most of my work through a freelancing website called Upwork. That's where I get most of my clients and jobs. So, yeah, so when I'm not working or when things are slow, I'll still be working during the day, but I'll be working on RefToons or catechisms. So yeah, I consider RefToons part of my job. It's just not necessarily paid. Ouch. Ooh, good question. Have you ever used 99 Designs, and what are your thoughts on it? My thoughts on 99 Designs.
What is?
It is a website, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a website where several designers will design something for someone, and that person gets to choose which one they like best, and then that's the only person that they pay. Is that correct? I think I looked into it maybe once or twice. I'm refreshing my mind here to see what it is, how it works. Tell us what you need. Hire a designer. Start a contest. Oh, okay. So you can hire a designer or you can start a contest. $100% money back guarantee.
What? No matter. What
So-
does that mean?
So on 99 Designs, you can either, clients can either hire a designer, which seems like it's similar to what Upwork is, where you bid on jobs, maybe. I don't know if you can bid on jobs in 99 Designs. But they can start a contest, which I think is what like Fiverr is like as well. Open your brief to our entire design community, which would be any of the artists who are signed up on there. Designers submit their ideas and you pick your favorite design. Creative concepts from multiple designers. Select one design to own. 100% money back guarantee.
What does that mean? 100% money back guarantee.
I don't know.
If they're not pleased, they can say, "Oh, I'm not pleased with this," and keep the image.
Probably. I don't know.
Like, because all you'd have to do is say one thing.
I don't know. I'm not very. I'm not very impressed with the 99 Designs thing. Upwork is actually more of a. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that is
A little
underhanded, yeah, and it's taking advantage of artists who maybe just want to be able to land an art job, and then their desperation makes them go on there, create a design, and I don't know, just not get compensated fairly. Or not fairly, but like for what they should be.
You don't have a plumber come over to your house and this plumber can do, like, that doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna choose between which plumber does my job, just does the job I need the best, and then I'm gonna pay him. So with 99 Designs, you're giving free artwork away to someone who may not even choose your design. They have access to all these other designs.
I think it would be different. Like, if you're just starting off and needing to build a portfolio or something, that would probably be worthwhile to do, because you could by chance get paid for it. That's by chance.
Yeah.
But when you are a developed artist and people can see your work for what it is, because you've had time to build up your portfolio or whatever, you shouldn't have to be taking these jobs that are, well, if I like it, I'm going to pay you. I mean, that's exactly like that.
No, I don't think even starting out artists should do that.
No? Okay.
No.
It
Because
would make more sense to be. It would cheapen everything.
It cheapens the entire industry. Not just that person's art, but it cheapens the whole, and then other people think that, oh, because these people are doing it, well, I can do it now, so I don't have to pay you. So then they go into these other places like Upwork, or they'll hire artists outside of these places and think that just because they don't like the drawing that the person gave them, that they don't have to pay them for it. Or just because
happened to you.
Which just recently happened to me. Well, not recently, back in April. I still haven't gotten payment for something I did for someone who needed a drawing done for their church. But anyways, what's it like being doing freelance using Upwork? How does the process work? Upwork is more of a business. It lets you be in charge of your business, basically. And it's not just for design work either. They have many different categories of jobs. But the jobs that I look for on there are in the design, illustration, categories. And so what you do on Upwork is you create your profile. And your profile includes your resume, your portfolio. You create a portfolio right in there in the system. And when you have your profile set up, you can bid on jobs. You're given a certain number of these things called connects, and you use those in order to bid on jobs. You can bid hourly jobs, so you set up your hourly rate. You can bid on hourly jobs, or you can bid on fixed rate jobs and propose a budget. And if the client chooses your bid, so it's your bid along with like a bunch of other people's bids. If they
Well, a bunch. I mean, it ranges.
Yeah, well, it ranges, yeah.
Up to
And
10,
it'll say
maybe.
on each job post approximately how many bids have been placed on that particular job. So once you're chosen, a contract is started based on what you said in your proposal. So it's basically like freelancing out just in the wild, except Upwork is creating all the contracts and managing all the money for you, and they take a certain percentage depending on how much money you make through certain clients. Anything up to $500, they take 20%. And then I think once you reach, or after that, they take, if you make up to $500 or more or something like that, they take 10%. And then if you make over $10,000 with one client, they start to take only 5%, which is nice.
You just have to adjust your rates accordingly so that you're getting what you are worth.
You
or
adjust
whatever,
your rates according to
so that it's not
the
20%
fees.
out of your yeah. But I mean, is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's what I did starting out, and even now.
And then you're not wasting your time on trying to find a job, or on doing art that may or may not be used. You're
Right.
either
And-
getting the job or not.
And with your profile on Upwork, people have the ability to search through different freelancers, and they can invite you to interview for their specific jobs as well. So it's basically you bid on jobs, or you get invited to bid on jobs on Upwork is how that works.
Well, each job costs 15 cents, did you say? You have a certain number of connects.
Yeah, you can purchase more connects for like 15 cents or something like that.
But they also give you some, right, per month.
Yeah, I've been working through Upwork for a long time, since before it was even Upwork. So what Upwork is it's a conglomeration of two different companies, both of which I was using for freelance like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
or 11 years ago. So it was Elance and Odesk joined to form Upwork. And so when that happened, all of my clients from one platform and the other platform merged together into the one platform, and so I still have all my old clients and everything from both platforms, which is nice. But so I've been working on Upwork for 10 years now, or maybe more, I don't remember. And it's been one of my main sources of freelance work and income, which has been nice. So if you're not on Upwork, I would highly recommend, if you want to do freelance, I would highly recommend getting on Upwork.
And freelance anything. It's not just drawing that you can do on there. You
Yeah,
can do
it's
secretarial work or documenting or typing or whatever you.
They have accounting and consulting, admin support, so that would be data entry, project management, web research, personal virtual assistant, customer service, technical support, data sciences and analytics, design and creative. So they have animation, audio production, graphic design, photography, presentations, voice talent, art and illustration, brand identity and strategy, motion graphics, physical design, video production, engineering and architecture, IT and networking, legal, sales and marketing, translation.
But you have there's
Web, mobile, and software development, writing. They have pretty much any category that anybody would fit into for working remotely.
It did take you though a while to actually get in.
Yeah, it took me a few months to land my first job.
But once you did get your first job, it was fairly consistent, would you say? I mean, not consistent.
Yeah.
But it was easier to get the next one and then the next one.
Yeah, once
then people can rate you and trust you. And
once clients saw that I had at least one job under my belt, then they were more likely to hire me, I guess. Excuse me. Excuse me. I should make this guy like Christian from Pilgrim's Progress. She doesn't need elf ears. And let's see here. Excuse me. A white robe. Sketch to clarify this sketch before I ink it. Yeah, you will. Well, I changed the color. That's alright. Sometimes I like to sketch with different colors. Okay. There we go. Ink this.
Are you still on?
Yes, I'm still live. Sorry, I haven't talked in a long time. Just concentrating. Almost forgot, actually.
isn't a bad thing.
No, it helps me get work done. I like drawing feet. I used to hate it, and I used to hide all of my characters' feet behind things.
I did not know that about you.
What?
I would have guessed noses were your no-go here.
I hate drawing noses.
So what change? Oh, is that gonna change then?
Is what gonna change?
Are you gonna like drawing noses now?
I don't know.
What made you
Maybe.
change?
What made me change?
Yeah, to like feet. Oh, that is funny because in your Santa Claus one, you
Took a figure drawing class.
I think you
Right.
so.
I
Oh,
like.
so you're saying used to as in like before college?
Yeah, before college.
Okay, not like it changed last week.
No. Sometimes for speed, I'll hide feet. Can't really hide hands though because those are used for expression a lot of times. Alright, and then she'll have just like a colored burst, painted burst behind her, kind of. Oh great. Not this again.
Did you see?
It's saving right now, but it froze. So I'm going to take a screenshot of that so that I can put it in there later because I'm going to have to force quit this. And I'm going to say goodbye to the live stream. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Check out more RefToons on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hold on. So yeah, if you hit that little bell icon over here, I think is where it's gonna be. Right there. Right. No, not there. 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 No. There. Right there. Hit that bell notification and you'll get notified when we go live next. Or when RefToons is live again. And subscribe too, so that you don't miss out. Actually, oh, here. I'm on the page now. Oh, I don't even know where it is because I don't have the subscribe button on my end. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.